You know, there is this funny thing about memory. When we look back at when we were kids, everything seemed inevitable. Remember that? I'm talking about that gut feeling you had when you were 7 or 8 years old. You didn't just want to be successful, you knew it. It was a done deal. In your head, by the time you hit 25, you'd be running the world, driving the fast cars, and living in the big house. It wasn't a question of if, it was just a matter of waiting for the clock to catch up to your destiny. But then, life happens. The clock ticks. Suddenly you look up, and you aren't 25 anymore. Maybe you're 36, maybe you're 45. And you look around at your reality, and there is this stinging realization. I am not where I said I would be. I was listening to this incredible story recently about a guy, super ambitious, 36 years old. He's got things going for him, sure, but he looks at his bank account and he feels this pit in his stomach. He knows deep down he could be and should be so much further along. It's not just about greed, it's about potential. It's that haunting feeling that you are underperforming your own life script. And that is a heavy, heavy weight to carry when you wake up in the morning. Here is the tricky thing about financial success and why it haunts us midlife business owners more than anything else. It is measurable. It is brutally specific. You know, some people value sports, some value fashion, some value art. And that's great. Art is subjective. You can paint a picture and say, this is a masterpiece because I feel it is. And nobody can really prove you wrong. But money, business, that is a cold, hard scoreboard. You can't fake the numbers. You can lie to your friends, you can lie on Instagram, but you cannot lie to your banking app. When you open that app, it tells you the exact truth of where you are holding right now. And for us, the people who are driven by financial success, that number isn't just a digit. It's a reflection of our progress. And when that number doesn't match the vision we had when we were kids, it hurts. It feels like a report card that says F when you know you studied for an A. It's easy to get down on yourself when the math doesn't match the dream. Now, before we spiral into a midlife depression here, let me flip the script on you. That feeling of, I should be further ahead, that is not failure leaving your body. That is ambition trying to wake you up. Most people settle. By the time they hit their mid-30s, if they haven't made it, they adjust their goals down to meet their reality. They say, well, I guess this is it. I'll just be comfortable, but not you. If you are watching this and you feel that agitation, that annoyance that you aren't a multimillionaire yet, that is actually a good sign. It means the dream isn't dead. It means you haven't accepted mediocrity. That discomfort you feel is the friction of your potential rubbing against your current reality. It's supposed to burn a little bit. That 36-year-old entrepreneur I mentioned, he uses that dissatisfaction. He doesn't let it crush him. He lets it annoy him just enough to make him move. He knows he has the capacity for huge businesses, for charity, for impact. The dissatisfaction is just the engine light turning on, telling him it's time to press the gas. Hey, really quick, if you've ever felt that specific kind of frustration, where you know you're capable of more but the results aren't there yet, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. We talk about the real side of building wealth here at Solomon's Treasury, not just the highlight reel. Welcome to the family. Let's be real about getting older. When you are 20, you are stupid, but you are stupid in a beautiful, powerful way. You have this blind optimism. You think starting a business is going to be easy. You think the market cares about you. You think the world is my oyster. You are ready to eat the world whole. But as you transition into your 30s and 40s, something changes. You have scars now. You have been punched in the face by the market a few times. You've had the client who didn't pay. You've had the product launch that flopped. You've had the month where you couldn't pay yourself. This is the baggage of experience. And it's dangerous, because suddenly you aren't just dreaming anymore. You are calculating risks. You start to hesitate where you used to jump. You start to doubt. The world doesn't look like an oyster anymore. It looks like a minefield. And that shift in perspective, that is the number one killer of midlife success. It's not a lack of skill, it's an excess of caution born from trauma. This is something we don't talk about enough in the entrepreneur space. We talk about grinding and hustling, but we don't talk about the slow leak of confidence that happens after a decade of ups and downs. It's not one big event. It's not like one day you wake up and give up. It's a slow erosion. It's getting knocked down time and time again. You get disenchanted. You start to think, maybe I'm just not cut out for the big leagues. Maybe I missed my window. That entrepreneur I told you about, he admitted it. He said, there have been times I've really lost confidence in myself. And this is a guy aiming for $17 million businesses. It happens to everyone. The repeated failures start to rub off on you. They start to stain your self-image. You stop seeing yourself as the future millionaire and start seeing yourself as the guy who keeps trying. And there is a massive psychological difference between those two identities. Society tells us that as we age, we should become more realistic. Your friends get safe jobs. They get mortgages they can barely afford. And they tell you to stop chasing unicorns. They say, come on, be realistic. Success is relative. I hate that phrase. Success is relative. It usually means I gave up on my dreams, so you should too, so I don't feel bad. Or B, if you want real, cold, hard financial success, and I mean big numbers, big impact, big charity, you have to fight this realism. You have to protect your delusional confidence. You have to guard that inner belief like it's a flickering candle in a hurricane. Because the moment you let the realism of your past failures dictate your future actions, you are done. The midlife advantage isn't about being smarter. It's about being resilient enough to stay foolish enough to believe you can still win big, even when the scoreboard says you're losing. I'm curious, what is the one failure or setback in your past that actually scares you the most right now? What's the one thing that makes you hesitate? Drop it in the comments. Let's air it out so it loses its power. So how do we fix this? How do we get back that 8-year-old's confidence when we are dealing with 40-year-old problems? The solution is surprisingly analog. It's not an app, it's not a seminar, it's a pencil and a piece of paper. The entrepreneur in our story, the one who felt behind, the one who lost confidence, he has a protocol. Every single day, no matter what is happening in the world, he sits down. He takes a physical pencil and a physical sheet of paper, and he writes. This act is sacred. It's a reset button. When you write something down physically, you are taking a thought from the ether of your mind and manifesting it into the physical world. It is the first step of creation. You are telling your brain, this is real. You are overwriting the doubts of yesterday with the declarations of today. It sounds simple, almost too simple, but the most powerful tools usually are. Now, he doesn't just write, I want to be rich. That's vague. The universe doesn't respond to vague. He writes specifics. He writes, I own a $17 million business. He writes, I give $2 million a year to charity. He writes, I own 10,000 apartment units. Notice the tense. He doesn't write, I want to own. He writes, I own. Present tense. He is claiming it. Even if his bank account currently shows zero, his paper says $17 million. He is training his brain to recognize that reality before it happens. And he includes the other stuff too, because money isn't the only metric. He writes about having a deep relationship with his children, a meaningful connection with his wife, a strong bond with God. But he doesn't shy away from the money. He keeps the financial goals real and big. He forces his brain to look at those numbers every single morning until they stop looking like fantasies and start looking like to-do lists. Why do this every day? Why not just write it once and put it on the wall? Because life is distracting. Because the world is constantly trying to re-inspire you to be average. The news, your social media feed, your neighbors, they are all broadcasting a signal of mediocrity and fear. You have to actively re-inspire yourself. You have to wash your brain. Just like you shower every day to get the dirt off your body, you have to write your goals every day to get the doubt off your soul. This 36-year-old business owner said, "I have to re-inspire myself because when you get knocked down, you get disenchanted." This ritual is the antidote to disenchantment. It reconnects you to that kid who knew he was going to be a success. It bridges the gap between the confident child you were and the powerful adult you are becoming. It reminds you that the game isn't over. Do you have a daily ritual? Do you write your goals down, or do you just keep them in your head? Be honest in the comments. I want to know if you put pen to paper. There is a massive misconception that if you haven't made it by 40, you are late. That is garbage. Think about it. When you were 20, you had energy, but you had no skills, no network, no capital, and no wisdom. You were running fast, but you were running in circles. Now, you might feel behind, but look at what you have in your arsenal. You know how people work. You know how to sell or how to build or how to manage. You know yourself better. You know what you don't want to do. You aren't starting from scratch. You are starting from experience. That midlife business owner isn't a beginner. He's a veteran who is finally ready to win the war. The crisis you feel is actually a chrysalis. It's a transformation point. You are shedding the amateur phase to step into the professional phase. The foundation is built. Now it's time to build the skyscraper. Let's go back to that idea of cold, hard financial success. Some people shy away from this. They think it's unspiritual. But our friend in the story, he believes this desire was implanted in his heart by God. Think about that perspective shift. It's not greed. It's a design feature. If you have a burning desire to run gigantic businesses, to give massive amounts to charity, that isn't an accident. That is your purpose trying to manifest. And having cold, hard metrics, like that $17 million target, gives you clarity. It cuts through the noise. It gives you something to aim at. When you are in midlife, you don't have time for vague dreams. You need targets. You need to know exactly where the goalpost is so you can kick the ball. Embracing the numbers doesn't make you shallow, it makes you effective. Now here is the secret sauce. The danger of chasing money in your 20s is that you often destroy everything else to get it. You burn out, you ruin relationships, you lose your way. The advantage of the midlife business owner is perspective. Notice the list our guy writes down. It's not just the $17 million, it's the wife, the kids, the community, God. He knows that financial success is empty if the house is empty. He understands the holistic picture. This is your advantage. You are now mature enough to handle wealth without letting it destroy you. You are building a fortune to support your life, not to replace it. This balance makes you more sustainable. It means when you do make that money, you'll actually be able to enjoy it. It's the age-old debate. Can you really have it all? Massive wealth and a happy family? Or do you think something has to be sacrificed? What's your take? Let me know below. Let's talk strategy for a second. Why do so many young hotshots flame out? Because they thrive on chaos. They hustle 20 hours a day, sleep under the desk, and eat ramen. That works for a sprint. It doesn't work for a marathon. By the time you are in your 30s or 40s, you realize that chaos doesn't scale. You stop trying to be a hero and you start trying to be an architect. You build systems, you hire people, you delegate. This is why the businesses built by midlife founders are often more robust. They aren't built on Red Bull and adrenaline. They are built on processes and wisdom. That $17 million business our friend is building, it's not going to be a lucky break. It's going to be a well-oiled machine. That is the compound effect of your maturity. You play the game differently now. You play to keep playing. I want to circle back to this phrase from the transcript because it is so powerful. Something that I believe that God implanted in my heart. If you believe your ambition is a divine assignment, it changes everything. It takes the ego out of it. It's not about, look at me, look how rich I am. It becomes, I have a duty to maximize my potential. It means that when you fail, you don't quit, because you can't quit a mission. It means that when you are tired, you find strength, because the goal is bigger than your comfort. This spiritual or deep-rooted why is the ultimate fuel for the midlife entrepreneur. It's what keeps you writing those goals down when you are 36, 46, or 56. It validates your hunger. It tells you that your desire for more isn't a flaw. It's a compass. There is a fine line between being patient and being stagnant. Stagnation is standing still because you are scared. Patience is standing still because you planted a seed and you are waiting for the harvest. The midlife owner knows the difference. That feeling of, I'm not where I want to be, that's fear of stagnation. But the act of writing down goals, of showing up, of re-inspiring yourself, that is active patience. You have to trust the timing. Just because you haven't made it yet doesn't mean you won't make it tomorrow. The timeline is not up to you, the effort is. You control the input, the work, the belief, the strategy. The output, the $17 million, arrives when the compound interest of your life finally tips the scales. Do you trust your gut? Do you feel like you have a calling to be wealthy? Or do you think that's just something people say to feel better? I want to hear your philosophy on this. We spend so much time listening to podcasts, reading books, and watching videos like this one, looking for the answer outside of ourselves. But the answer has been there since you were that kid dreaming of success. Deep down inside, there is a voice that says, I can make it, and I will make it. That voice is quiet. It gets drowned out by the noise of bills and failures and realism. But it is still there. Your job as a midlife business owner is to turn the volume up on that voice. You have to trust it more than you trust your current bank account. You have to trust it more than you trust your critics. That voice is the only thing that matters. If you can hear it, you can still win. So what happens next? You are 36 or 45 or 50. What is the plan? The plan is to double down. You take that pen and paper and you write a bigger vision. You map out the next 10 years, not as a winding down, but as a ramping up. The most productive years of a business owner's life are statistically between 45 and 60. Did you know that? That is when the deep knowledge meets the high-level execution. You are entering your prime. You aren't over the hill. You are finally climbing the right mountain. The roadmap is clear. Acknowledge the dissatisfaction. Don't hide from it. Rewrite the goals daily. Reprogram the mind. Execute with the wisdom of experience. Build systems, not chaos. Keep the faith. The result is inevitable. Let's wrap this up with the most important message of all. Just because you haven't made it yet does not mean you will not make it tomorrow. That is the mantra. Put that on your mirror. Tattoo it on your arm. I don't care. Just remember it. The story isn't finished. You are in the middle of the movie. And usually in the middle of the movie, the hero looks like they are losing. That's what makes the ending so good. If you won immediately, it would be a boring movie. You have the desire, you have the experience. Now you have the tool, the daily rewrite. Pick yourself up, re-inspire yourself, grab that pencil, and go claim the success that has been waiting for you since you were a kid. If this video sparked something in you, if it woke up that dormant ambition, then we are just getting started. I want you to destroy the like button so this message finds other business owners who need to hear it. Leave a comment below with your I am statement from your goal list, and share this with one friend who you know is destined for greatness but is feeling a little stuck right now. I'm Solomon's Treasury. Keep writing, keep building. I'll see you in the next one.